Alright, so we just leveled up before I started recording. I got another move that'll help me when I'm in close combat. Before we go up to the castle, I'm thinking we should go back to camp and check in with some people and maybe switch around our party. Let's first check in with Liliana, because I love her.
Yes?
I don't know if Delrenon loves her. At least, they barely know each other as of now, but in terms of romance, I haven't really pinned down who he's gonna romance, so I'm kinda leaning towards Zevran. I'll be honest there.
Well, here I am. What is meant by someone like me?
You know, someone amazing?
Did you think I was always a cloistered sister? The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed. I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes? Yes, of course. Let's move on.
That's not sketchy at all.
Yes? Well, here I am. Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
I think this is one of the most telling things, that Liliana is in deep grief in Dragon Age Inquisition, because when you ask her the same question, she's just like, go read a book. Whereas here, she's just so excited to talk to you about her stories. Don't give a shit about Orlais.
Which one?
Yeah, tell me what you know about the Dalish.
I know little about your people, but I may be misinformed, and I would hate to offend you.
It's alright, I asked you because I want to know what you know.
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in a land of their own.
Unfortunately, that didn't last.
The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the Chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The Chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The Chantry declared a wholly exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. There were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
I really hate the implication that Red Crossing is what caused the Exalted March, because it totally ignores the history of the Chantry sending in missionaries and Templars and harassing the Dalish elves far before any of that even happened. The sole reason the Emerald Knights were even created was because they had to protect their land from the approaching Orlesian forces. And what's also suspicious is Orlesian expansion was after Ferelden, and it just so happens that the Dales were between Orlais and Ferelden. You can kind of put it together. Part of their motivation was most likely also just the desire to conquer more land, period, and using the Chantry, or rather the lack of the Chantry in the Dales, as an excuse.
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
Well, I think the slavery had a little bit to do with it too, but sure, let's all put it on the Maker.
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hessarian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burnt at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter. The Tevinter Chantry claims that in Andraste's last moments, Hessarian's heart softened, and he heard the voice of the Maker telling him to end her suffering. He plunged his sword into her heart, and as her blood washed over his hands, he became one of the faithful. Dissenters said that the Archon only converted because he could not stem the tide of Andraste's cult, and was forced to do so to stay in power. We will never know for sure.
Don't think it matters in the long run. Alright, let's check in with Alistair next.
What do you need? Ask away. Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring. That's just in public. In private, we have these yellow and purple tunics, right? Much more comfortable, and you don't break the beds when you jump on them during a pillow fight. Pillow fights? I mean, no, of course not. I meant sword fights. With rusty swords, dripping with acid. The kind that puts hair on your chest. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
I'm just being polite.
Poke, poke, poke. Tell me everything about your life, Alistair. All right, if you insist. It's not like we have anything better to do, right? The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Al-Eamon had cast me off, unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it. The education, mostly, but also the discipline. You need to have a disciplined mind in order to use the abilities we have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
That's a complicated topic.
We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Though that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good, either way. You're right. Best to concentrate on what we have to do right now. What do you need? Ask away.
You've got a lot of dialogue options.
You never asked? All right. If you want the full explanation, I'll give it to you. The thing is, I'm used to not telling anyone who didn't already know. It was always a secret. Even Duncan was the only Grey Warden who knew. And then after the battle, when I should have told you, I don't know, it seemed like it was too late by then. How do you just tell someone that? Yes, well, I suppose part of me kind of liked you not knowing. It's just that anyone who's ever found out has treated me differently afterwards. I was the bastard prince instead of just being Alistair. I know that must sound stupid to you, but I hate that it shaped my entire life. I never wanted it, and I certainly don't want to be king. The very idea of it terrifies me.
Doesn't sound stupid at all.
For all the good it does me, my blood seems certain to haunt me no matter what I do. I guess I should be thankful that Al Eamon is far more likely to inherit the throne. If he's all right. Oh, I hope he's all right. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. It was a dumb thing to do.
No worries.
I guess it's kind of a relief that you know now. Let's go.
We'll save more for later. Stan,
Yes,
you got anything to say?
sitting, as you observed. Your grasp of the obvious is remarkable. Parshera, was there anything else? I am hardly surprised. To answer a question. The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here. Yes. Never. I cannot go home. Thank you. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting. As you wish.
Stan is so easy to talk to.
What do you wish of me? If you must. Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
A nutty old bat.
Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience. Ah, I see. That does explain much. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
I just want to hear you speak, to be honest.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her. Many centuries before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the Bard and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
What a jerk.
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she goes from not caring at all about her husband selling her to wanting revenge. Okay.
That was not the point. Conabar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see, chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies. The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
I mean, clearly it began because of prejudice against the Chastened.
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her. You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one, and these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed, so should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
I would love for Morgan to meet Yavanna. Because Yavanna knows about Morgan, but not the other way around.
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well. How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her. I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all. Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless. Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on.
Here I am. Oh, this should be good. Go ahead. Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin after all is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it? To be truthful, I didn't even know the crows existed when I joined them. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die.
He says this so nonchalantly.
Oh, I don't know about that. The crows who are actually good enough to survive come to enjoy some of the benefits. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
Oh, should I? I did say I was leaning towards him.
I fancy many things. I fancy things that are beautiful, and things that are strong. I fancy things that are dangerous and exciting. Would you be offended if I said I fancied you? This is good to know.
I
As
love
for
his
what I'll
laugh.
do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go. Eventually can be a very, very long time if one plays one's cards right. Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
Alright, I guess that's enough for now. Oh wait, I got a bunch of stuff to sell.
If there's anything I can do for you, please, please tell me. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Okay, now that that's taken care of, let's go back to Redcliffe. This time we'll take, well, for sure, Alistair, Liliana, and Morgan.
Indeed.
Whoa, chill out, Morgan. Nobody's attacking nobody. Alright, Tegan.
Odd how quiet the castle looks from here. You would think there was nobody inside at all. But I shouldn't delay things further. I had a plan. To enter the castle after the village was secure. There is a secret passage here, in the mill, accessible only to my family. Perhaps I should have gone into the castle earlier, but I could not leave the villagers. Maker's breath.
Ah, here she comes.
Tigan, thank the Maker you yet live.
Isolde, you're alive. How did you... What has happened?
I do not have much time to explain. I slipped away from the castle as soon as I saw the battle was over, and I must return quickly. And I need you to return with me, Tigan. Alone. What? Who is this man, Tigan?
You remember me, Lady Isolde, don't you?
Alistair. Of all the... Why are you here?
They are Grey Wardens, Isolde. I owe them my life.
Yeah, unlike
Pardon me,
you, we were actually
I
fucking
would
doing
exchange
something.
pleasantries, but considering the circumstances...
Please, Lady Isolde, we had no idea anyone was even alive within the castle. We must have some answers.
I know you need more of an explanation, but I don't know what is safe to tell. Tigan, there is a terrible evil within the castle. The dead waken and haunt the living. The maid responsible was caught, but still it continues. And I think Connor is going mad. We have survived, but he won't flee the castle. He has seen so much death. You must help him, Tigan. You are his uncle. You could reason with him. I do not know what else to do.
I beg your pardon? That's a rather impertinent accusation. No, I did not mean... That is to say, please, stop this.
Please be
Even
honest.
I cannot fathom holds my son and husband hostage. I came for help. What more do you want from me?
The truth?
But I do not understand what you mean by this evil. Did it create the walking corpses? What is it?
Something the mage unleashed. So far, it allows Eamon, Connor, and myself to live. The others were not so fortunate. It killed so many, and turned their bodies into walking nightmares. Once it was done with the castle, it struck the village. It wants us to live, but I do not know why. It allowed me to come for you, Tegan, because I begged, because I said Connor needed help. I do not know. Oh, Maker's mercy. Could it truly be a demon? I can't let it hurt my Connor. You must come back with me, Tegan. Please.
The king is dead, and we need my brother now more than ever. I will return to the castle with you, Isolde.
Thank the Maker. Bless you, Tegan. Bless you.
I cannot let Isolde return alone. Perhaps I can help Connor or Eamon. Perhaps this is really a trap, but this is my family. I must try. I have no illusions of dealing with this evil alone. You, on the other hand, have proven quite formidable. Isolde, can you excuse us for a moment? We must confer in private before I return to the castle with you.
Please do not take too long. I will be by the bridge.
Here's what I propose. I go in with Isolde, and you enter the castle using the secret passage. My signet ring unlocks the door. Perhaps I will distract whatever evil is inside and increase your chances of getting in unnoticed. What do you say? Sir Perth and his men can watch for danger at the castle entrance. If you can open the gates from within, they can move in and help you. I don't think there's anyone else who can help you. If you choose not to go, then it's up to me to do what I can. Here is my signet ring. It will open the lock on the door in the mill. Whatever you do, Eamon is the priority here. If you have to, just get him out of there. Isolde, me, and anyone else, we are expendable.
I would say quite the opposite.
You are a good man. The Maker smiled on me indeed when he sent you to Redcliffe.
So we are just going to send him with that woman? It seems so dangerous.
But I can delay no longer. Allow me to bid you farewell. And good luck.
Well, we got our mission. Let's go.
As you say. Yes. I will not falter! Hello? Who's there? Is there anyone alive out there?
Jowan!
Wait, you don't look like the Arlessa's guards. Are you from outside the castle?
What gave it away?
There's a tunnel? Then why hasn't anyone in the castle used it? We could all have escaped by now. Curious. None of this makes any sense. Not that anyone cares much what I think. My name is Jowan. I'm a mage Lady Isolde hired to tutor her son Connor. Until they, threw me into the dungeon here. No, I poisoned Al Eamon, but that's all I did. I know it looks suspicious, but I'm not responsible for the creatures and the killings in the castle. I was already imprisoned when all that began. At first, Lady Isolde came here with her men, demanding that I reverse what I'd done. I thought she meant my poisoning of the Arl. That's the first I heard about the walking corpses. She thought I'd summoned a demon to torment her family and destroy Redcliffe. She had me tortured. There was nothing I could do or say that would appease her. So they left me to rot. I was instructed to by Terran Loghain. I was told that Arl Eamon was a threat to Ferelden, that if I dealt with him, Loghain would settle matters with the Circle. You see, I'm a Maleficar, a blood mage.
You? A blood mage? Truly? I would never have guessed.
A blood mage? Well, that isn't good.
It's
I dabbled
actually
in the
pretty
forbidden
damn
arts,
cool.
And they condemned me to death for it. I thought Loghain was giving me a chance to redeem myself. But he's abandoned me here, hasn't he? Everything's fallen apart and I'm responsible. I have to make it right somehow. I have to. Connor had started to show signs. Lady Isolde was terrified the Circle of Magi would take him away for training.
Connor? A mage? I can't believe it.
She sought an apostate, a mage outside the Circle, to teach her son in secret so he could learn to hide his talent. Her husband had no idea.
I seriously doubt that. And Loghain does too. If you recruit him as a companion and talk to him about Eamon, he's like, do you really think Eamon didn't know about what was going on? And I believe Loghain over Eamon, that's for sure.
Because he would be taken away forever. A mage cannot inherit a title, even the son of a powerful Arl. She's also a pious woman. Her son having magic was humiliating.
Just call her a bitch. That's what she is.
I thought that too. Connor has little knowledge of magic, but he may have done something to tear open the veil. With the veil to the Fade torn, spirits and demons could infiltrate the castle. Powerful ones could kill and create those walking corpses. I never meant for it to end like this. I swear. Let me help you fix this.
I say this boy could still be of use to us, but if not, then let him go. Why keep him prisoner here?
Hey, let's not forget he's a blood mage. You can't just set a blood mage free.
Better to slay him. Better to punish him for his choices. Is this Alistair who speaks, or the Templar?
I'd say it's common sense. We don't even know the whole story yet.
He wishes to redeem himself. Doesn't everyone deserve that chance?
Like yourself, you mean?
Everyone deserves a chance to redeem themselves in the Maker's eyes. This man, no less than any.
I don't know. He is a blood mage. But this is an unusual situation.
Give me a chance, please.
Sorry, Alistair. It's 3 against 1.
You're letting me out? And what then? I'm not sure that's a good idea. I'd like to help out, but I'm not so sure I want to follow you into danger exactly. I won't, I promise. I will find a way to fix this somehow.
As you say.
Here we go.
Begin the order. Now we get our hands.
It will be done. Very well.
It's amazing!
Watch it! This will not end well for you.
The battle is finished.
Of course. As you
Allow me.
say.
I could do that for you.
Can you?
It's done.
No, you can't.
I am ready. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, dogs.
For the Grey Warden!
Shit.
Do you need help?
Violence is a solution. Sometimes, wipe them out. Cross me and you shall
Let's
pay.
make this quick!
Defend yourself. You should run while you can.
It is some kind of trap. It will be done.
Oh, whoops.
Yes.
Very polite of the corpses to wait for us to open a door.
Of course. You have forced my hand! You shall not touch me! I will not falter!
Here comes trouble.
Yes. Very well.
Corpse Gall. I think that's for one of the Chantry Board quests.
We must be on our guard.
You should run while you can. Let's make this quick. Make the quick finished.
As you say. Of course.
Hooray,
well.
almost to the courtyard.
It will be done. As you say.
Let's open that gate and get some help.
Charge!
Whoa!
Now you die! It will be done.
Damn it! Somebody please come help me with this revenant.
Right.
So shall it be! Where shall I
Switch to daggers again for some reason. Stop doing that.
strike?
You got no skills with daggers.
I think we work well together.
I think we work well together too, Alistair.
You have opened the gates. That is good. My men and I are eager to see our Arl again. Shall we enter the main hall together? It must be held if we are to regain control of the castle. Excellent. Let us go now then, and see what awaits us there.
So these are our visitors? The ones you told me about, Mother?
Yes, Connor.
And this is the one who defeated my soldiers? The ones I sent to reclaim my village?
Yes.
And now it's staring at me. What is it, Mother? I can't see it well enough.
This is an elf, Connor. You've seen elves before. We have them here in the castle.
Oh, I remember. I had their ears cut off and fed to the dogs. The dogs chewed for hours. Shall I send it to the kennels, Mother?
Connor, I beg you. Don't hurt anyone.
Mother? What's happening? Where am I?
Oh, thank the Maker. Connor, can you hear me?
Get away from me, fool woman! You are beginning to bore me.
Maker's breath. What has happened here?
Grey Warden, please don't hurt my son. He is not responsible for what he does.
No, you are.
No! Don't say that!
So, the boy has become an abomination and sundered the veil.
Connor didn't mean to do this. It was that mage, the one who poisoned Demon. He started all this. He summoned this demon. Connor was just trying to help his father.
And made a deal with the demon to do so? Foolish child.
It was a fair deal. Father is alive, just as I wanted. Now it's my turn to sit on the throne and send out armies to conquer the world. Nobody tells me what to do anymore.
Nobody tells him what to do. Nobody! Ha 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 ha!
Quiet, Uncle! I warned you what would happen if you kept shouting, didn't I? Yes, I did. But let's keep things civil. This man will have the audience he seeks. Tell us, what have you come here for?
Good question. What did we come here for?
I'm not finished playing. You can't make me stop. I think it's trying to spoil my fun, Mother.
I don't think...
Of course you don't. Ever since you sent the knights away, you do nothing but deprive me of my fun. Frankly, it's getting dull. I crave excitement and action. This man spoiled my sport by saving that stupid village, and now he'll repay me.
Enemies ahead!
Alright. Good thing I opened that gate. Those soldiers are helpful.
Very well.
Tegan. Oh, Tegan. Are you all right?
I am better now, I think. My mind is my own again.
Blessed Andraste. I would never have forgiven myself had you died. Not after I brought you here. What a fool I am. Please. Connor's not responsible for this. There must be some way we can save him. Yes. I didn't tell you because I believed we could help him. I still do.
I'm sorry, my lady, but Connor has become an abomination. He's no longer your son.
You! You did this to Connor!
I didn't summon any demon. I told you. Please, if you'll let me help.
Help? You betrayed me! I brought you here to help my son, and in return you poisoned my husband?
This is the mage you spoke of?
That's called
Didn't you say he
iconic
was in the dungeon?
behavior, Isolde.
He was. I assumed the creatures had killed him by now. He must have been set free. How dare you! If this man hadn't poisoned my husband, none of this would have happened. He should be executed.
Your secrecy made his actions possible, Isolde.
But
I know what you must think of me, my lady. I took advantage of your fear. I'm sorry. I never knew it would come to this.
Well, I shan't turn away his help. Not yet. And if Connor is truly an abomination...
He's not always the demon you saw. Connor is still inside him, and sometimes he breaks through. Please. I just want to protect him.
Isn't that what started this? You hired the mage to teach Connor in secret, to protect him.
If they discovered Connor had magic, then they'd take him away. I thought if he learned just enough to hide it, then... None. I trusted Logain. Why wouldn't I? How could I have suspected the mage he sent would be a murderer?
And Eamon knew nothing of your plans? Do you not realize what you've done, Isolde?
Eamon would only demand we do the right thing. I was not going to lose my son. Not to magic. Magic runs in my family. The ones who had it were all terrible, sinful men. I didn't know what to do when I found out.
And so you brought doom upon us all and death to your own son.
No. No, please. There must be another way. There must be something we can do.
Well, we gotta stop by blaming magic first, because magic is gonna solve this.
The demon in Connor needs to be destroyed. Killing Connor is the easiest way to do that, certainly. But there is another way. A mage could confront the demon in the Fade, without hurting Connor himself.
What do you mean? Is the demon not within Connor?
Not physically. The demon approached Connor in the Fade while he dreamt, and controls him from there. We can use the connection between them to find the demon.
You can enter the Fade, then? And kill the demon without hurting my boy?
No, but I can enable another mage to do so. It normally requires lyrium and several mages. But I have... blood magic. Lyrium provides the power for the ritual, but I can take that power from someone's life energy. This ritual requires a lot of it, however. All of it, in fact.
So, someone must die? Someone must be sacrificed?
Yes, and then we send another mage into the Fade. I can't enter because I'm doing the ritual. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. It's not much of an option. The power has to come from somewhere, and that means either lyrium or blood.
Then let it be my blood. I will be the sacrifice.
What? Isolde, are you mad? Eamon would never allow this.
Either someone kills my son to destroy that thing inside him, or I give my life so my son can live. To me, the answer is clear.
Blood magic. How can more evil be of any help here? Two wrongs don't make a right.
It does seem like a sensible choice, with a willing participant.
Connor is blameless in this. He should not have to pay the price.
It's up to you, my friend. You know more about such things than I do, and it's your companion going into the Fade. The decision is yours.
Well, fortunately for Isolde, there is another option.
You can find lyrium and more mages at the Circle of Magi, if they would even do it. That is an excellent point. One of the treaties is also for the Circle of Magi, after all.
The tower is about a day's journey across the lake. You could attempt to get the mages' help.
But what will happen here? Connor will not remain passive forever.
Very well. I will keep Jowan here as a precaution. He says he wants to help, so he will keep an eye on Connor with us. Go to the tower quickly, then. The longer you are away, the greater the chances of disaster.